what happened there is that the judges were following technically to the letter, the law,
Yeah.
because of all of these things, like you were saying, like if Sergio frames himself, I'm sorry about the English. Sometimes the
You're
terms I don't
good.
get them right.
Confession.
Like
Yeah.
Go ahead, go
if he
first.
confesses, it doesn't count
Mm-hmm.
because of the whole coercion thing and stuff like
Yep.
that. Because no
Yeah.
one was a direct witness, it doesn't count. Like they were doing the right thing, I guess.
Yep.
Technically, because of the moment politically of
Hmm.
the justice system just changed in that year to make oral things, so they were watched a lot. And they kind of didn't give a shit. That's the truth. They were just like,
Mm-hmm.
it's another case. Like they never thought it was going to explode like this with Marisela. And it was Juarez, in 2010. It was the most dangerous city in the world. I mean, it was tough. And in that aspect, because I saw that, with the file and everything that I knew from the lawyers, I saw that, I saw that maybe it was a little unfair to the judges, because I think they fucked up. I do think so. But at the same time, I wanted them to talk about it, to say things how they are, because I think they deserve, to have a say in this. So I begged them to be in the documentary. I wrote them letters. I was gonna meet both of them. Both of them stood me up like at 6 a.m. in a restaurant, in a diner, and I was like, I cannot defend you. You need to be in the documentary because this doesn't look good for you. Like this had a lot of backlash. And one of them told me, like, I cannot put myself through this again because of the feminist groups. That's what he told me.
Mm-hmm.
Not judgment here from me.
Oh.
That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And I understood that. So it's very complicated sometimes, as much as we want, to make a fair assessment of it and also have like a shocking, sequence, because that was, the first death, that was really shocking. I mean, having them explain exactly what happened doesn't take out the fact of what happened, after that. But to answer your question, Said, if they have just used a little bit of personal, judgment there, you're right. Marisela would be with us today, and that's the truth. And with documentary, I think it's kind of the same. You're right. We cannot be objective enough. Like I choose who I give the microphone to. I choose how to edit things, and that's you have to trust yourself that you're not endangering anyone or just making a personal observation that doesn't really fit. Like I had situations where, for example, I did another documentary called "The Darkness Within the Light of the World," which is about the church in Guadalajara. And like at one point, one of the interviewees from the church, like he messed up with his interview. He said something he shouldn't have said, and it was very incendiary, but it wasn't true. Like it wasn't true. He was just like, it was a weird situation where for the documentary it was great, because he would just put a sequence in, like the end of the sequence would be like, wow, he really said this. And he talked to me and he was like, hey, Carlos, I don't feel comfortable with this. I think I messed up. I was confused. And I was like, yeah, don't worry. I'm not going to use that, because even though it's great for the documentary, I think in the long run, it's not helpful. It's not helpful to stigmatize further this community that honestly, most of them have no idea what's going on with the apostles and the abuse and all that stuff. So I think we do have to use common sense both ways, and personal judgment.